Lawrence Okolie becomes the Commonwealth Cruiserweight Champion in only his ninth fight, wiping out Luke Watkins in three one-sided rounds. This was a great performance by Lawrence Okolie, and he showed marked improvement in his technique, in his poise, in his punch selection, in his accuracy, in his jab, keeping his shape. Massive, massive improvements from Lawrence Okolie. And really, he stuck it on Luke Watkins in the opening seconds of the fight. And he showed Watkins the kind of punching power he has. And that intimidated Watkins from what I saw. Watkins was wary after he felt the weight of those first few right hands from Lawrence Okolie. And that put him in his place. And that stopped him from taking chances. And that gave Lawrence Okolie the distance and the space that he needed to set up his jab at long range and pick off Luke Watkins at distance with the right hands, the jabs, etc. When Watkins got inside, Lawrence Okolie didn't just tie him up, because he did tie him up at times, but he was also cracking Luke Watkins to the body with nice body shots as Luke Watkins would come inside and they would clinch. He was constantly hitting Watkins to the body, and Watkins was feeling them body shots. I'm telling you now, he was feeling them body shots. And after only, I think probably even after the first round, to me, Watkins looked a little dejected. After the second round, he looked finished to me. He looked like a beaten man. The look on his face, his body language, everything, he looked like a beaten man. He just felt like he couldn't get to Lawrence Okolie. Okolie was boxing so well. His distance was very, very good. His jab was there. People say he looks awkward and unorthodox and ungainly. Look, it's effective. Don't worry about how pretty it is. Worry about how effective it is. And Lawrence Okolie is very effective. People have been writing Lawrence Okolie off since his early fights. So many people in my Facebook group, people that I see commenting on my videos, they were saying, oh, Okolie's going to get chinned as soon as he steps in there with someone who's got technical ability. Well, didn't Isaac Chamberlain have technical ability? Doesn't Luke Watkins have technical ability? They do have technical ability. Admittedly, they're only domestic level prospects, but so is Lawrence Okolie. He's a domestic level prospect. Yeah? So he's fighting guys with similar experience to himself, and he's dealing with them. It's not like either guy came close to beating Lawrence Okolie. They didn't. So he's basically tearing through the domestic scene at cruiserweight at the moment. And from what I've seen, he's making massive improvements fight by fight. Very impressive performance by Lawrence Okolie. And again, people are just going to keep on writing him off because they think he looks ungainly and all this kind of business. Look at how effective he is. Look at the technique of a guy like Chamberlain and Watkins. They have more correct technique. Did it help them? Did it save them? No, it didn't. So Lawrence Okolie boxing very well. I've seen people say he's a one-trick pony. Completely disagree. Go and have a look at the fight. He was boxing. He was using his jab. He was hitting Watkins with body shots up close. And the physical strength of Lawrence Okolie is also not to be underestimated. This man is a very, very physically strong man. Don't let the fact that he is a slim person fool you. He's very strong. And one of the reasons that he is so physically strong is because he regularly spars big heavyweights. You know, he sparred the likes of Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, etc. Big, big men. So when he's in there with these little cruiserweights, little 200-pound guys, their physical strength is not going to bother him. Certainly not at this level. Maybe when he gets up to world level, if he gets that far, then the physical strength of those guys might be something else. But certainly at this level, he's too strong for these guys. They can't get past the long arms, and the punching power is tremendous. So, great performance by Lawrence Okolie. 10 out of 10. You couldn't have asked for a better performance from him against Luke Watkins. And I also have to big him up once again because of the fact that he's stepping up. The man had, in his 7th fight, he faced Isaac Chamberlain, a fellow prospect, a guy who had more rounds, more professional rounds than he had. He took on Chamberlain, beat him. Alright, sorry, that was his 8th fight. In his 9th fight, just here against Luke Watkins, he took on another guy who had more fights and more rounds than he had, or at least more fights anyway. I'm not sure about more rounds, but definitely more fights. And he just blew him away. And I did feel as though we'd get a better performance out of Lawrence Okolie in this fight because he'd be more relaxed with the fight being at York Hall and also having the experience of what happened at the O2. So he did look more relaxed. I really couldn't fault anything he did in there against this particular opponent. Now, people are going to say Luke Watkins made it easy because he didn't throw any shots. Well, why didn't he throw shots? Because he felt the power early and he knew if I make any mistakes, this guy's going to crack me with that big right hand and I'm not sure how many of those I can take. And evidently in the third round, when he started getting cracked clean, you saw what happened. Yeah, you saw what happened. So, great performance by Lawrence Okolie. The doubters are going to keep on doubting. The haters are going to keep on hating. And they're going to keep on ignoring the fact that this man is effective at what he does. Some people have said that he is the cruiserweight Wilder. I don't think he is. I actually think that Lawrence Okolie is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying he's a better fighter. I'm saying I think he's a better boxer. I think he has better boxing skills than Deontay Wilder personally. I think so. He concentrates more on the fundamentals than Wilder does. Wilder's, I mean, don't get it twisted. Okolie really is looking for the big right hand, but he can box. And he does bang in them nice hooks to the body and stuff like that. And he does technical stuff. So I think, at least at this stage of his career, if you look at Wilder when Wilder was 9-0, I think Wilder was not as technically sound at 9-0 as Okolie is now. You could make an argument that Wilder maybe is as technically sound as Okolie now. Some people might say better. That's an argument you can have. But certainly when you take both fighters at 7-0 or 9-0, sorry, Okolie is the more polished at 9-0. Yeah, he's got his routine. He's got his shape together. And yeah, I like what I see from Lawrence Okolie at the moment. In terms of how far he can go, well, the cruiserweight division at world level is very, very dangerous indeed. So let's not start talking about Okolie at world level yet. But certainly at domestic level, he's cleaning up. And then he can be progressed on to European level and so on and so forth. We'll see. And how many of these top cruiserweights at the moment are going to move up to heavyweight in the future? And that might leave the division a little bit more open and give opportunities to guys like Lawrence Okolie to do something at world level, you know, in the near future rather than in the distant future. So yeah, I think Okolie put in a great performance. For me, his best technical performance, because so many people early in Okolie's career were saying, oh, he gets caught with shots and he's very open when he throws his punches. Yeah, against that level of opposition, because he knew there was nothing serious coming back at him. But when he steps up the opposition, he's not making so many mistakes. He's not being so wild. He's not being so reckless when the opposition level goes up. And he wasn't reckless here against Luke Watkins. Did anybody notice that? He wasn't reckless. Right? I mean, maybe there was a few slightly wild shots when Watkins was already hurt and finished. But prior to that, Okolie wasn't reckless. Yeah? So, good performance. I didn't put a foot wrong. So, let's see who he fights next. And, yeah, he's progressing very, very well. So, let me know how you felt about his performance in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.